Okay, this collective, the sound that TikTok chose, which was very fitting when I went to record this video, was that part in Jennifer's body where Megan Fox says, "It should have killed me, but it didn't." Um, and that is like your life summed up in one sentence. It should have killed me, but it didn't. You've been through a lot. Ooh, I feel like the start of a panic attack almost coming on, like how I feel before I get my panic attacks. This collective, you could be someone who struggles with anxiety. Actually, I know you do, because that person in that cage has been you a lot of your life, okay? Collective, like I said, you've been through a lot. Death and rebirth is the theme of your life, okay? As I was channeling this message, Spirit showed me you entering your own funeral, okay? Not to scare you. It's like the funeral of your past selves. I'm having a hard time getting this out, and I always know that's when it needs to get out. There was also this like dark energy around, like behind me while I was channeling this message. And I feel like it's this energy of your past, okay? And like I said, Spirit was bringing you into your own funeral, kind of because first of all, you've been through a lot. You've been through a massive healing journey. You are nowhere near, like, close to the person you were 2 years ago. Like, you have evolved so much. You have put so much work into yourself. This is a beautiful collective. You have a lot of spiritual gifts. You're very empathetic. You're very intuitive. You could be a water sign, heavy Sag energy as well, in the sense that you are on a journey of self, of truth, of like this lifetime of yours has heavy spiritual undertones. I mean, life does in general, but you're here for a spiritual purpose to evolve on a spiritual level, to find out who you really are. And there's been some things that happened in your life that kind of, it felt like took you off your path. And I don't want to say the hard things you've been through, they were a part of your path. Like you had to go through that stuff. Like that's not, I don't believe that, you know what I mean? You had to learn that horrific lesson. That person had to hurt you in that traumatic way in order, no. But your path was met with a lot of darkness. There was a lot that you overcame. Addiction could be something that you overcame, or in your early childhood that was around you, okay? A lot of trauma, a lot of homelessness could be something that you've experienced, that you've been through. Just a really rough journey that really felt like the second you got up, after something knocked you down, something else came along and knocked you down again, okay? And I feel like there's a lot of remorse that you hold for some ways in which you behaved or some choices that you made, um, because of the tool set that you had at the time or because of the environment that you had at the time. You know, sometimes mistakes that people make can be a coping mechanism rather than a conscious choice. And I feel like there's a lot of mistakes that this collective made subconsciously that really fucked up a lot of things along your journey, hurt some people maybe. And it's because you were hurt at the time. You struggled. You have a story that I think if a lot of people, maybe you've been judged a lot, that if a lot of people sat down, I want to cry. You have a story. Sorry. That if a lot of people sat down and heard your story, it would move them. Like, I feel like this collective, you've been judged for some things. Maybe you've had a hard time with your emotions. Maybe this collective, BPD, maybe that's something you've struggled with, or mental illness, and you've been judged for that. Or, like I said, addiction. And where if people sat down and heard your story, the judgment would immediately melt away because they would be like, holy shit, this human has been through a lot. Okay, and you've done a lot of work on yourself. You've done a lot of work. You are nowhere near the person that you were. And so, first of all, spirit came in to kind of like say, you need to lay that person to rest. And it's kind of like you need to show up at this funeral for your past selves and not shame them, not like put them to rest and be like, fuck you, bitch. Like, I'm burying you. You know, like, it's more like, hey, thank you for getting us through that in the way that you knew how. Thank you for continuing on amidst our struggles. Thank you. I know you were hurting so bad. Like, you really need to take time. And instead of feeling so much shame about your past, you need to be thankful for continuing on when a lot of people wouldn't have. And forgive yourself because you're being led somewhere. And I think you know that you're being led somewhere, at least in the sense of spiritual experiences. You're having a lot happen. Okay, and I feel like this came after a really harsh reality. So, you know, in Carrie, in the movie Carrie with Sissy Spacek, where Carrie comes from a very abusive household. Like, her mother is crazy, crazy culty Christian, like nuts, and abuses her. And Carrie has like powers, like she has telekinesis. She can move things with her mind. Okay, and she's severely bullied at school, and it's her gifts aren't fully unlocked until this moment where she's at prom and she wins prom queen. And on stage, as she's getting her crown, the mean girls pour pig's blood on her and humiliate her. And then she gets so upset that her gifts come fully online and she sets the whole place on fire. Like, it's, you know what I mean? And it's like, you had something major happen that pushed you not only into healing and to like getting whatever it was, therapy or going to rehab or whatever it was, but it also pushed you onto a spiritual journey that unlocked some spiritual gifts of yours. Okay, and so when I say that you feel something's coming for you, spiritually you feel that too, because I feel like you've been having things happen. Like when I saw that energy behind me, like you've been seeing things, you've been having, and I'm not saying if you're out of touch with reality completely and like if this is like a mental health break, please seek aid, please seek professional help. But I'm talking about intuition coming online, spiritual gifts coming online, psychic abilities coming online, premonitions. It's there's things happening and you're being led on a journey. That's why I'm like, it feels Sagittarius vibes of like higher learning, spiritual learning. You're being led somewhere that's going to be a spirit, like spiritually fulfilling. Sorry, it was that like flying out of my mouth, but it's going to be like in the physical world too. The only thing that's holding you back a little bit is the need to lay this past to rest, to realize that you did the best you could with what you had at the time, or you fucked up sometimes, like we all do. But there's a need to let go of shame because you're being led on such a magical journey that you need to be present for it. Because like I said, it's not just a spiritual journey. Like you're getting like this spiritual knowledge and these spiritual breakthroughs. Your spirit team is heavy around you. You have like infernals around you as well. Demons possibly, the fae possibly, dark goddess, like dark goddess energy possibly. But you're being led, and that's not to scare you. That's in a helpful way. But you're being led somewhere, and so you need to let go of this shame so that you can be fully present for where you're going, because it's beautiful. Okay, I'm proud of you. I love you.